Poll question on the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by Fowler Buick GMC and the GMC Sierra truck. Test drive one this week. Whew, you will not be disappointed. In fact, you will be super impressed with that bad boy, the GMC Sierra truck at Fowler Buick GMC in Brandon. Drew, can you update the poll results this morning, the question, and what do our listeners think?
Is the SEC clear-cut better than the Big Ten this year? 57% are saying no, which is kind of surprising to me in SEC country.
Very surprised as well.
How do you balance that out with the fact that the league has the most dominant team?
I don't.
I mean, if you're talking about leagues, you're talking about depth, and
right.
Well, I mean, one team doesn't make a league.
Or does it?
Well, 10 years ago or so, when we had like Ohio State dominating or USC dominating, we didn't think the Pac-12 or Big Ten was the best league.
True.
That's a good point. So, with the second best team in the SEC is the LSU Tigers at 6-3.
I would think so.
Latest projections have them going to the Sugar Bowl.
It's very possible.
Shows you about those bowl projections.
It's very possible every SEC team except for Bama has 4 losses.
I didn't think about that, Drew.
4.
I mean, it's probably not likely, but the possibility exists.
How bad is that? Is that bad, or is that parity, or is it?
It's not. I don't think it's parity because I don't think like South Carolina and Mizzou and Vandy and
Mississippi State,
Kentucky. Very good.
How much better is Ole Miss than South Carolina, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Mississippi State?
I guess we'll find out the next 2 weeks on the last two, but
On paper, aren't they a lot better?
On paper, they're way better.
if they played an East schedule, what would their record look like?
I mean, surely they'd have 8 wins, 7 wins.
Well, I think they'll finish 7-5.
If you went through the East, who would
well,
Ole
I'm
Miss
talking
for
about
sure?
right now. That's how many they'd have. If they played each other. No, in the end, I'd push a 9.
If you went through the East, who would they for sure lose to?
There's not a team.
There's not a team.
I mean, they could lose to somebody. 'cause
Tennessee
they've
and
proven
Florida
that.
would be kind of toss-ups.
Yeah.
Right.
Could they lose to Tennessee and Knoxville? Yes. That's another Jekyll and Hyde team. Well, let me ask you this. Have teams always been Jekyll and Hyde? They're just more Jekyll and Hyde today because we watch every game? In other words, in 1983 when I was growing up, unless they were playing at Memorial Stadium or maybe the game of the week, and in 1993 when I was in college, we got a couple of games, but I didn't get every single game and every single team, and round-the-clock highlights and sports talk radio. Has it always been like this? I mean, teams, life, humans, individuals are wildly inconsistent. And then you have, during the 80s, who was consistent? Celtics, Lakers, 49ers, right? It's the same thing over and over again, right? In the 90s,
That would be definition
Chicago
of
Bulls.
consistency, yes.
Dallas Cowboys. In the 2000, San Antonio Spurs. Patriots. Has it always been like this? We just, because of the way we can consume the product, we now say, well, Ole Miss is Jekyll and Hyde. Arkansas's Jekyll and Hyde. Oklahoma is Jekyll and Hyde. Some weeks they look great. Ole Miss at times has looked like a top 5 team, top 10 team. Especially certain halves this year against Florida State and Bama and so on. And then at times you watch them and you go, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I do have the first and second half stats so far for them this year.
Okay, what are they?
First half stats for Ole Miss.
Dude, are you giving me are you giving me some stats?
Yeah, I just went through and added all this up. Just kind of
Hold on. Just for our listeners to know that Jackson is really, he's locked in today. After yesterday,
got a coffee.
After yesterday, the one thing that he accomplished yesterday at Logan Farms, he ate a chest square.
And look, that was a pretty good accomplishment. Those things are the best. I mean, that was
Can I tell you all
crack for the day.
We were in a booth doing the show at Logan Farms, and so he decided to get parallel, whatever I'm trying to say. He decided to lay down horizontal on the bench
I didn't want to. My knee space was going to be invading your
And
knee space.
he fell us while I'm doing the interview with Luke. I mean, he's literally 4 feet in front of me.
Right.
Straight. He falls asleep. Like his eyes do this.
I
I mean, they do
sleep.
it sometime when he's over there, and he goes,
Right.
he goes,
No. I mean,
and his chin goes down.
yeah, from
This
7
is
to 8:15,
why-
I sleep.
This is while I'm interviewing Luganville. I mean, is that great or what?
That's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. It's not as solid as these stats, though. Ole Miss first half stats. All right, this is only in the first half. They lead their opponents 221 to 143.
Okay.
Okay, so they're outscoring their opponents by 70 plus, around 70. In the second half, they are trailing their opponents by 50 plus points.
Why?
Why is that? They are losing 123 to 170 plus. Why? That means you're averaging. So all right, so you're averaging 22 points in the first half. You're averaging 12 in the second half. That's a massive drop off.
And then last week you scored 23 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, if I
After
took,
scoring 6.
well, I mean, if you take that away, this number's a lot uglier. If you take last week's game out, when they scored 23 in the fourth, those second half stats are way uglier. I mean,
I can't get a read on the reps. They have
Wow.
talent. They can beat a bunch of people. But they'll go 7-5. I mean,
but what is that?
Are they an Arkansas win away from kind of doing what we expected them to do? Or
This is
they
not,
may be.
not
That would have
the
been 8-4.
Yeah, the record may be what we expected it to be, but we didn't expect it to be like this.
One game is huge in college football. We think of it as big, like chunks, 2 and 3 wins, 4. It's not. One game. One game can make that steak taste that much better. I mean, your steak's going to taste great. You should smoke Mississippi State. But that steak, one win. Arkansas win out these next 2 games, win that bowl game, and you're 9-4. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Which is what that's a game, give or take a game where we expected them to be.
We did.
But now I will say, I mean, I expected 8-4, 9-3, but I did not expect it in the fashion that they've gotten. It's just been a weird year. And now the Savior's here. It doesn't matter what their record is.
Shagermeister,
Does their record matter anymore?
Slim Shady.
It doesn't matter. As if he wins these next 2 games, they could have lost every single game.
They don't
before
care.
that.
Ole
It
Miss
doesn't
fans are
matter.
not. They needed something between the way the
latch on.
season went and now. I mean, look, there were rumors yesterday that Ole Miss is going to go get co-defensive coordinator down at Auburn. What's his name? Wesley McGriff or something? And throw him in with another assistant coach, bring Melvin Smith, put him on the field. And, why in the world would you leave Auburn knowing that you'd be walking into a program that's about to be put on probation? But I think this Shea Patterson stuff will be enough of a distraction over the next 5 months to keep them excited until the sanctions come down. And then we'll just have to see what they look like. Now, another story, Tony Romo gives a press conference basically saying, hey, this is Dak Prescott's team. I'm not going to be a distraction. I want the part where he talked about a message for young football players. Tony Romo, players, athletes at that level don't have this much self-awareness. Tony Romo was amazing and gracious yesterday. This is Romo with a message for young football players.
I can remember when I was a kid just starting out and wanting to be a part of something bigger than myself. For every high school kid out there or college player, there's greatness in being the kind of teammate who truly wants to be part of a team. Everyone wants to be the reason they're winning or losing. Every single one of us wants to be that person. But there are special moments that come from a shared commitment to play your role while doing it together. That's what you'll remember. Not your stats or your prestige, but the relationships and the achievement that you created through a group.
Do you see what's happening there? It's all coming home to him.
Yep.
It's all, he knew he was on the back 9. Now he understands, wow, I've taken all this. Well, I've made a ton of money. We've had some great wins, but we never had the championship team that I wanted to bring to Dallas like Aikman and Staubach did. And this was the team to do it with, and I had to sit on the sidelines. Can you imagine how – because he's talking about playing from the time he was 6 years old to 36 today. And he sees Brady playing at a high level at 40, and he's going, seriously? He sees Drew Brees playing at a high level in his late 30s. And he sees Eli Manning, who's just about his same age, playing at a high level. And he's going, what's going on? And he knows that you can extend your career today because of two reasons at the quarterback position. And what are those two reasons? The two reasons are the way the game is played, compared to just a few years ago when Brett Favre was getting slaughtered, or in the 90s with those QBs, or 80s, 70s with Bradshaw and Staubach. Those guys got mauled. Two reasons why you can extend your career like Drew Brees is going to do and like Tom Brady is doing. The way the game is called and training. I mean, did Terry Bradshaw look like Tom Brady or Drew Brees? Those guys are freaks as far as what they do with their bodies.
They're twins. Bradshaw and Brady.
I mean, you think Dan Marino was working out that hard 12 months out of the year like Drew Brees and Tom Brady? Eli Manning? Tony Romo?
I also think they didn't have to, but no, they weren't.
So you can extend your career at that position because the way the game is called, and you can't hit them, and because of unbelievable performance training, which takes me to this. The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by the Madison Healthplex and Performance Center. They have boot camp, one-on-one training, aquatic center. So whether you're in junior high or you're 50 years old and training for that 5K, you can find it all at the Madison Healthplex and Performance Center. It is a beautiful, state-of-the-art, 96,000 square foot fitness, workout, health facility. Madison Healthplex and Performance Center, 463 in Madison. Straight ahead, we'll update the poll results. Plus, I think we've got a pretty good hot garbage.